but they're
Yeah.
decent. I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah. Oh, something else we should do because we've started the podcast is we should start
Oh, good.
we should start asking people to like and subscribe and shit up top. So
True.
yeah, hey everybody, podcast is starting. If you're listening to this and you haven't like subscribed to the YouTube channel, do that right now. You're looking at your phone. I know you are. Do it, Patrick.
But
Do
say
it,
the link
Patrick.
is right in front of you.
It's right there. It's right under your thumb. What are you doing? Like,
I'm going to hope that all the core friends have just gone ahead and done this.
yeah, I'm gonna hope too, but I don't really check the YouTube analytics. I just post and I just go on with my day.
That's fair enough. You are more than me.
Yeah.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Wow, great thing to say about your sole creative outlet.
Hey, what can I say? But anyway,
What can I
here
say? I'm a deeply
surviving.
broken man.
We're all recovering, fighting our demons.
Yeah,
That's like the phrase of my life now.
yeah.
Constantly fighting demons. But we vibe. How's your week going, dude?
Oh, busy week, but a good week.
I'm about to
Yeah,
say a productive week, which is
very
always a good thing.
productive. Yeah, and then I have a trip this weekend, so that's fun.
Yeah, I forget you are going out of town.
Yeah, I'm going
Not
to
bad.
Pittsburgh.
Honestly, what's in Pittsburgh besides like Mac Miller? Is he
Mm,
from Pittsburgh?
yes, he
Yeah, he's from
is.
Pittsburgh.
And my girlfriend's parents.
All right, fair enough. You
Yeah,
you can have that one.
yeah. Not gonna have to pay for shit though, so that's nice. Uh,
That is fair. That is always a nice thing.
yeah. All right, why don't we get this shit rolling?
Yeah, well, like we said, well, apparently since the podcast is already playing, we don't have a lot of musical news. Um,
Yeah. Oh, we did it. It wasn't recording that part.
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
psych, I lied. Um, but anyway, they honestly a combination of us doing this a day early because we have lives, and also the combination of just not much coming out. Pierre Bourne is coming out with an album, I believe, called Good Movie. He's been tweeting about it recently. Definitely most definitely give it a listen.
I'm interested.
Yeah, all his previous stuff, I think I brought it up before, but like I felt that most of his albums, each song flows into the other one, which is
Yeah.
just another proof of why he's an amazing producer. So
Yeah.
I will most definitely give that a listen.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that when just like the effortless flow between tracks.
it's scary.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love
Yeah.
it. Um, but that's literally all I could find so far. It's not much, but there are some singles we believe.
Yeah.
As of today, there's been a bunch of stuff for Ari Lennox that's been all over my Instagram of J. Cole recording one of the songs on there. He's going to be on the album, and he's super excited to be on there. And he's just like pumping up Ari. Ari's been posting a lot of different promotional things about the album, some of the features that will be coming out. So I am very excited. We got one amazing Dreamville album last weekend that we'll be covering, and I'm
Yeah.
excited for the next one next week.
Yeah. You did get a nice
Yeah,
Dreamville
go back to
album.
back.
What this episode's about. You clicked on the episode. You know what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like one of no, our second episode was on Dreamville, so you shouldn't be surprised by this.
Yeah.
And then we have Smino. He literally all he did was tweet it Thursday, and that is enough for me. I
Yeah.
am praying this is related to a single.
Yeah. It's definitely music.
Yes, it's got to be. He's
Yeah.
been
It's
out
gotta
of
be
it. No, not
music.
out of it, but
But
disconnected for too long.
yeah. I recently listened to Noir again. Oh, so good.
So good. I
So
think
good.
he has one of the best flows out
Yeah,
there.
oh,
That's
without a
like
doubt. Although,
because like he can sing.
although, spoiler alert, I think the guy we're talking about today has some pretty good flow.
Man, it's I can't wait.
Yeah. Uh,
um, but we'll get to that eventually. You guys will find out. This will not be a very long podcast episode, but I think it's going to be a very good one.
yeah.
Um, and then one other thing that's been going on, at least singles music video wise, there's been multiple music videos dropping out for the album God Did
The
with
DJ
DJ
Khaled
Khaled.
Industrial Complex churns on.
Yes.
Got to get that YouTube
Um,
ad money if you made all those music.
He's a smart man. He is a businessman. I think there's one with 21 Savage, one of those songs on there.
Is he a
This,
businessman or is he a business man?
I hate you. I think I said that like last week. I hate you. Um, but yeah, I think the one with 21 Savage and then the other one is Future and SZA, which, you can't get enough of that.
Yeah, no, that's
Um, love it. Absolutely love it. Injected into my veins. Um,
Did you listen to the God did?
yes, I did. Did you listen?
No.
Oh, bruh. So you didn't listen to me? I said it was worth at least one listen.
I mean,
Um,
it's been a busy week. Like,
okay, I'll give you that. I will say this. It is better than his other stuff, but you should still go in with the expectation that this is a DJ Khaled album. And like there is more structure, but this is just you throw every producer, every writer, every artist in the industry, and you kind of just if it hits, it hits. And you really only need like 3 to 5 of them to hit, which I think he does too.
yeah,
At least in terms of it, hitting charts and going radio and stuff.
yeah,
Um, and again, not to talk it down too much, but it honestly is. It impressed me. It was enjoyable. There are some like surprisingly good songs. I will say good songs. There are surprisingly some good songs on this album that I think are worth listening to at least once or twice. I think the highlights, and I might be biased, but obviously, Let's Pray featuring Don Toliver and Travis Scott. I don't relate to it as much, but this is actually a really good song. Bill's Played featuring Lotto and City Girls. They went crazy. And the Juice World. There is a surprise Juice World.
oh,
Um, man, I miss him.
I
Like,
miss him too.
I miss him. Like, actually. So that was surprisingly nice to hear. So
Wow,
it's worth one or two lists,
wow.
and I'll give him that.
All right, shall we
So,
move forward on to the news then? Seeing as we've already
yes.
talked about DJ Khaled.
I'm about to say all of the big news that's been coming out. We'll just go down the list one by one.
Yeah,
Starting off because this is mandatory as it is a hip hop podcast. We must discuss the VMAs. Yay!
I don't know how you do this to yourself.
I didn't watch it, so I
Like,
get away with
I when
that.
you talked when you sent me Purvis sent me a text message, like listing his outrage over the VMAs.
It
And
was a short little
I
rant.
thought they were thought they were the Grammys. I was so
So
unaware.
disconnected and like non-caring.
And trust me, it's a good life.
I mean, yeah, you didn't miss much. The only thing I can point out about the VMAs that the short little rant that I sent, it's a shame that Baby Keem did not get one of the best new artists. Considering that he was nominated in the competition and what he's doing right now, I get a lot of people say, "Oh, you're just Kendrick's cousin, and that's why you're making it." But I push back against that. He had a great album by himself, and he's coming into the game. I feel like so. I feel like he deserves more respect than not winning that. But again, it's all just a scam, so it's whatever.
Yeah,
And besides that, pretty much nothing else that we thought was going to win won. So
good,
here we are.
good.
Oh wait, no. We like the weekend won the R&B video, which he deserves that. But everything else
Yeah,
was just a
I
musical
mean,
sin.
I'm never gonna say no to giving the weekend an award, but
Of course.
yeah,
And I figured you appreciate
that's out of
that.
principle. Well,
Out of principle.
well, here's the thing. I VMAs. I'll I'll think about it next year when we do the exact same thing in
And I'm gonna come in
in
and
the
be like,
last
"Hey,
week of
Brandon,
August.
here's a short little rant."
And I'm gonna be like, is this the Billboard Awards? You're gonna be
It's
like,
just the Oscars.
is this
It's
the
like, bro.
Oscars? I'm like, is this the playoffs? Like,
Jesus Christ, please don't.
is this the finale? Like, oh my god. Let's get to something that like kind of crosses my wires a bit. Kind of makes bridges a gap between two things I love that
Yeah.
crossover more than you would expect.
This
Uh,
one is all you. Go for it.
yeah. So Megan the Stallion is going to be in the MCU officially, and in She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Let me ask you: have you
So
watched She-Hulk?
I have not seen a show, movie, episode, skit, or anything about She-Hulk. So I'm gonna keep it a stack. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what her role is. Is she like a main character?
No, I have no idea
Okay.
if what her role is. It's kind of odd to know at this point that she's going to be in the show because they're limited 8 episode series. It's not like a sitcom where like they're still making it like while you're watching it. Um,
Oh, I thought it was a movie.
no,
Okay.
it's a TV show.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and
That actually makes more sense.
yeah, and the first 2 episodes are already out, and it's a really really good show. I'm a sucker for anything Marvel, so like take that with a grain of salt. But
Mhm.
do you see Deadpool?
Like the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know Deadpool's whole thing about like how he breaks the fourth wall?
Hmm.
He stole that from She-Hulk.
No shot.
That's like a real yeah. She-Hulk was doing that for like 15 years before Deadpool did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I honestly, like I said, I couldn't tell you one fact about She-Hulk besides I'm assuming she's the female version of the Hulk. So
Yeah, so
I get nothing.
literally that. I've only read a few comics of the She-Hulk. She's not far from one of my favorite characters, but the show is refreshing. One of my favorite actresses is playing She-Hulk.
Who was
Uh,
that?
her name's Tatiana Maslany.
Okay.
Yeah, she does a lot of sci-fi stuff. She was in this show Orphan Black, where she
Hmm.
played like the whole thing was that she was someone who was being cloned, and she played all of her clones. She had like different mannerisms, different like
That is talented.
yeah, different voices, different accents, all on the
Like
same
that's
screen.
hard.
Yeah, so
Sheesh.
she's a perfect fit for like anything she's in, and I'm just enjoying the show so far. I do, and also one of my favorite uh superhero like things from like the last 10 years was the
Hmm.
Daredevil TV show. Have you heard of that? The one that was on Netflix.
I am aware. I have not seen it though.
Uh, Daredevil is coming back in She-Hulk because the whole thing about She-Hulk is that She-Hulk's a lawyer.
I would okay. So I
Yeah,
was gonna say I'm assuming her alter ego or whatever disguise, whatever you want to call it, is a lawyer,
yeah.
considering
The
it's
the whole
attorney at
thing is
law.
that she's a lawyer and she's Bruce Banner's cousin.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and in the comics, she gets a blood transfusion from her cousin after an accident, and because like he's a Hulk, she gets
Ah,
yeah.
okay. I'm
In
piecing
this
it
show,
together now.
like they get into a car accident together. It's actually a lot worse, but besides that, the show is great. Like her origin is
Okay, I'll
actually
follow.
much worse than the show. I have to say, like
Well, I'm sure Megan could kill that bro, honestly.
oh yeah, no, it's a show that's made for her. It is. It's very much a comedy. So it's bold, it's in your face, it's not subtle. Megan's gonna be a perfect fit in this.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Now, obviously, I haven't seen the original She-Hulk or any remakes or anything about it.
yeah,
There are times when you're watching a TV show that is a cartoon and they don't necessarily have a race, but you can tell like this is a black person. Or like this is a white person.
yeah. Like Thanos.
Is she exactly like is She-Hulk black?
No,
In a sense.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But like, I don't think Megan is playing She-Hulk. Like, because Tatiana Maslany is playing She-Hulk.
Okay, okay, okay.
My bet would
That's on
be,
me.
my bet would be that She-Hulk is the whole thing is that like the show isn't about her like solving crime. She's a lawyer,
Mhm.
and she's the head of like a superhero defense, like like for the legal trouble superheroes get in.
Right, right, right.
And I'm willing to bet Megan will be one of her clients.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I am watching this.
I'll see if she's an. I'd be very excited if she was a named character.
For sure.
Yeah, like someone from
Hopefully
the
in more than
comics.
one episode.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I see her show up in it. It'll either be like at the end of the season probably, or next week.
Okay.
And by next week, I mean tomorrow.
No, I got you.
All right,
Okay,
you
but
ready? You ready to
looking
clown
forward
on
to
this
it.
guy together?
Yes, and I actually wanted to add this in on purpose because I wanted to get your
Welcome to the
opinion.
clown zone, everybody. Clown zone.
We're not gonna make that. We're not making that a section or like a segment.
We should get a sound effect. That's what we should.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, the baby sold less than 500 tickets in New Orleans concert in a stadium that holds up to 14,000 people. The tickets were as low as $35.
Yeah, I mean, like that says it right there.
Does he deserve this?
I mean,
Like this is tough.
that's tough, but like you're not entitled to success, dude.
Really not? No.
Yeah, like
I'm surprised. I know it's bad. And to keep it 100, I wouldn't do it either. I wouldn't pay $35 to go see the baby.
yeah.
Why did
No, I wouldn't.
why did he take a whole venue that fits 14,000 people
Hubris.
and then couldn't even sell 500? I feel like he would have known. Come
I
on.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's definitely possible that because you book these things so far ahead. Like if he
Okay.
like booked this like off the tail end of the Donda stuff, I bet he thought
There'll be
his
much more
career was
people.
about to recover. Because like it did
That is
feel
true.
like that, like around when Donda dropped, like a year ago.
At least people were like giving him hope.
Yeah, but that just hasn't happened.
And he released an album, a collab album with NBA YoungBoy, who has a huge fan base.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe he just thought, I don't know. I don't know.
either way, I think he's seeing himself out. I think.
Okay, now I have a follow-up question.
Here we
Kind
go.
of taking a step back. Not maybe not specifically on the baby, and I want to talk about this before we get to the main topic because I'm going to bring it up again later. I know it's difficult to give this any form of credit because one, it's the baby, and two, we know where he came from. He's actually would have easily been able to sell out this venue previously,
Yeah,
like sold out days, weeks early, maybe, if we were being honest. But taking a step back from that, is 500 tickets that bad? Like, is that even noteworthy for an actual artist? Because I was trying to think, how many people were at the Pusha T concert? Would you say?
I don't know, but like,
Because those tickets were around the same cost, and we loved Pusha T concert.
yeah, granted. Uh, but I think I don't know. I do think like this is interesting. Like this is an interesting thing to bring up, but I think it has to do with the venue. I think the venue is a big part of it.
For sure,
Because
that's a very
like
bad look.
yeah, because like Pusha T sold out his venue,
Right, the small but really dope venue that we went
Yeah.
to.
And like, yes, it's small compared to Lollapalooza, compared to the United Center. It's a music club, like an old traditional music club.
Mhm.
Do you know what venue this was?
I can find out in literally 2 seconds.
Oh, the show got canceled too.
The show got canceled.
Yeah,
That is not too surprising. He's probably too discouraged to go do that.
yeah, it was at the Smoothie King Center.
Yes, thank you, Jesus.
What
I
a
don't know why I
bad
couldn't think of
name.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely
I hate this.
atrocious.
I hate the overbrandification of everything.
Bro, the one of the biggest teams in the world, I know you don't care about soccer,
That's
is
fine.
FC Barcelona.
Yeah.
And they are sponsored by Spotify. Like across the chest on their jersey is the Spotify logo. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's not good.
Guaranteed rate field. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, the worst.
Disgusting.
Yeah, but what's also crazy is part of me wonders like, oh, it's where the Pelicans play, by the way, so it's like comparable to like a UC.
Mm.
But part of me wonders if like part of our bias against this stuff is because it's new. Like I think about Wrigley Field here in the city, and yeah, that's like the one where it has it. Like we see that as like a classic name. You can't change it. It's a historical place.
It literally is a like historical landmark. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
but that's from the Wrigley Gum Company.
it is.
Yeah, so it's like I'm wondering, where that line is. But I just definitely hate that like every stadium is named after some brand.
And in some cases, a terrible name. I think that's why we hate it that
Yeah,
much.
Guaranteed Rate, Smoothie King.
It's
Oh,
just not ideal.
SoFi. It's like, yeah, great, great thing to remind me during my football game that the CEO of a student loan company can has enough money to buy the naming rights to a stadium. Anyway, title is beta testing user profiles.
Yes, I'm about to say. Moving on. What's going on with your title account, Brandon?
So
Before we just trail off into your fucking propaganda. I felt it
revolution
building
now.
up. It's going. I'm gonna do it.
Sorry. So apparently the title is
Fucking let the chains go. It just you start standing up and screaming into your mic. Oh my god.
Okay, let's move on. So got invited to try out some beta features for Tidal. And basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to compete with Spotify.
Okay. In what way?
In the way that way that you asked, because in the sense that they're trying to become more of a social platform. I feel like that's the thing Spotify really does have over the other streaming services is how optimized it is for social media, how ubiquitous it is. Look, we distribute playlists. We do it for Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say I'm on Spotify right now looking at just stuff and researching, and I can see who's listening to what
Yeah.
in terms of my friends
And
and people.
yeah.
Pretty dope.
Spotify is like being on Facebook with music, whereas Tidal is like being in a record store, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're trying to have more social features, public playlist, things like that. Which, look, as someone who has a podcast and a Tidal account, that's great.
Yep.
But not the thing I would like them to do.
Oh, why?
Yeah. Oh, just because. So the quality on Tidal is just so good.
You mean like
But
the
the
because I know the audio's better.
The
Okay, I
audio
thought you meant the
quality.
interface.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? I actually like the interface.
Okay.
I do like the interface. I don't think it's as good as Spotify, but I think the delta is a lot smaller than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
The app though sucks.
Oh.
Yeah, the
okay.
actual app crashes and malfunctions and doesn't get a signal.
Okay, that is very. I don't know if it has to do with not getting a signal or because remember I had Tidal for like a month or something like that when I was just kind of testing it out with my new headphones. My signal issues was more related to just like the download speed necessary to even listen to the tracks.
Yeah, no, that's certainly a factor. So now that doesn't bother me too much because even with Spotify, I would always take the stuff I listen to super often and download it to my phone because I'm one of those people who still buys the phone with the giant memory. So that doesn't bother me too often because I'm always on Wi-Fi and I'm always able to do stuff. But just the app crashing and stuff, it is noticeably worse than Spotify and Apple Music.
Eesh.
Yeah. Which, it does make sense though, right? Because Apple Music and Spotify are tech companies dealing with music. Tidal is a music company dealing with tech.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very you see a very similar phenomenon like in streaming apps, right? Think of something like Netflix versus Disney. The Netflix app is so good; it sends you the best recommendations. It shows you what other people are watching. It's an extremely good app. It runs super well on everything. But Disney has the Avengers movies and Star Wars, and their
And that's
app
pretty much all they need.
is functional. It's not.
Functional at best.
Yeah, low key, I actually think Disney Plus is pretty good because I love that they put the special features from the DVD on there,
Okay.
which is something I love and is going away, and it makes me sad. So Disney Plus is redeeming, but that's it's a similar dynamic you can see at play in the music streaming services. Spotify and
So,
Apple Music, like they prioritize being a good to use app. Tidal is about access and compensation, access to music and compensation of artists.
okay. And I completely, I think that's why Title has an upper edge on terms of just like respectfulness. Like I respect them more. Not in the sense that like they haven't sold out, but it seems like much more true to like the nature of actual celebrating creativity.
Yeah,
It- but saying that, the business side of me is coming out, and I'm literally like doing papers on this per week now as I'm back in school. So it instantly kicked in. I looked up the global streaming music subscription market share. This is a year old, but I think this is very telling in terms of why Tidal going towards streaming with social media being a important factor in the app. Yeah, I think it's just necessary for them to exist as a business because you can only be so free will, so much towards the creatives,
yeah,
so much focus on the quality without like surviving in the market. But just to give you an
yeah.
idea on some numbers, Spotify was at 31%, Apple Music was at 15, Amazon Music was at 13,
Whoa,
YouTube was at 8, and Tidal doesn't even have its own section of the pie. It's included in the other section, which is about 10%. Um, it's not even close.
yeah. No, it's not. But you know, I that yeah, that's like, but that at this point, that's in Spotify's entire product benefit is that they
Hmm,
have so much market share, and
that
I
is
do
true
think,
once you get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you also, yeah, and that's not to say Spotify is like irredeemable. I think like as a business, they're pretty bad. Uh, but like as an app, like yeah, it's a good social media platform. I personally think like the playlist curation on Spotify, that's top tier.
Hmm.
Like just
One
like
of the
the
best.
auto playlist, the auto generated stuff, like that algorithm.
Bro, did I tell you they added that feature with the shuffle?
What's that?
They added a new feature. How did I not tell you about this? I don't know how recent it is, but it just popped up the other day, and I was like, "Was that always there?" When you go to your playlist that you've created, obviously, like there's a play button, and you could just press play and it plays. But there's also a shuffle button next to it, where like it's basically pressing play, but it automatically shuffles it.
Oh,
There's now a feature where that shuffle includes recommended songs in the shuffle. Like it's already built into that. So like when
that's
you click on that
interesting.
shuffle button now, it will shuffle the music in the playlist and play something very like similar.
That's sick. That's pretty sick.
It's like it's amazing.
Yeah,
And again, another example on why
we'll see how long my morals last on title, but I enjoy it a lot.
which is fine. I do appreciate the honesty and the commitment to it, honestly.
Yeah, I once again like it's just the audio quality is just so good. Cool.
Um,
So
but yeah, moving on.
okay,
We
you walk
have
me through this one because Drewski, I look, he's a funny dude. I like his videos, but I'm not. That's
do
as
you
much as
know? Okay, okay.
like I know he's a
So
comedian. Like I know like who he is.
oh, of course. And we even saw him. We got to see
Yeah.
him when we went to go see J. Cole. But yeah, I don't think Drewski would need an introduction, but just in case for if the listeners do not know who Drewski is, He's been coming up very, very popular as a comedian, and he has a strong tie to like just music. It started off with like little jokes with who's the white kid blowing up right now? Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jack Harlow.
Thank you. Wow, can't believe I got that. Strong connection to him and just like being funny while being connected to music. So Brandon, I don't know if you know this exists, but he has a record label called Could Have Been. Do you know about this?
I think I've seen like videos where he's talking about it, but I always thought it was a bit.
I think it started off as like a joke or a bit, and it just kind of blew up and has been super successful since then. Essentially, what Could Have Been record started off as, since he's very into like the comedic field and the music field, the best crossover normally takes place on Instagram. So he has a strong influence on Instagram. He's always posting, sharing his moments, doing a lot of fun, exciting things, being on TV, whatever that might be. One thing that he does a lot is like live stream, and he started doing what is called Could Have Been Records, where when you live stream, you can also call other people and have them be on the live stream. And he would basically have people audition as though they were like going to be on a record. And boy, there's some hilarious moments, but there's also some really dope real moments where people are just trying to make it. So I don't know how serious it is, but I just saw a post as of today discussing that it's taking its next steps. He's got a couple of interviews about it. He kind of wants to make it a real record label, maybe not in the normal sense that we know of, but maybe something new. And I think that's a really dope concept if he can enter a new field of something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love, first off, I love any bit that goes too far. Second off, fuck yeah, dude. This is great. I love that.
Honestly, supporting just like anybody, man, supporting the community, give people a platform.
Yeah, I'm
Do their
into it.
thing.
I'm into it. And I just think Drewski's funny, and that's all that really matters to me. Gonna
He is
keep it
very funny.
real.
He's one of the few comedians that's actually like just genuinely funny.
Yeah. I don't know.
um,
Once you get into comedy is one of those things that like once you get into it and you know where to look, there's so many funny comedians.
yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
fair. Maybe I'm just kind of missing stuff, but
Oh.
regardless, power to him.
All right.
We have a Schoolboy Q teaser.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
I miss
minor.
him so much, man. I miss him so much. I'm ready.
So one, love the idea of getting Schoolboy Q this year. Big fan of that.
Hmm.
Two, I think this is a lot smaller of a deal than I actually thought it was when I first saw it. Just because, like,
Okay.
he dropped Soccer Dad.
Exactly.
Like,
We thought we were
this
going
is just
somewhere.
this is just a confirmation of what we already thought. You know,
Yeah.
and it's really just like a little reminder, really.
Look, man, they need to come on with
And
it.
hey, I'm not upset about it, but it's just like, do we really know anything else? Not really.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
But
but that's good enough for me though. Like,
it's good enough for us, honestly.
yeah.
I was the only Schoolboy Q is one of the more interesting artists to me because, like, I don't know of really any other artist that started off with a classic and then not necessarily went down from there, but like Oxymoron, I feel like is a classic personally, and I feel like that was the peak of his performance. So maybe not classic level necessarily, but it's interesting looking at an artist starting off on top and then maybe not continuing that right path.
Hmm. I yeah,
Do you
no.
disagree? Do you
I
think his other albums are better?
no, I definitely think Oxymoron's his best album. Uh and definitely could be a classic. I don't know if it is or not, but definitely could be.
Classic potential. We'll say that.
Oh yeah, I ain't hating on you calling it a classic, but I'm interested if other people think that because I feel like to some people,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
what
I don't
else?
know if
Blank
there's.
Face, maybe?
I think Blakeface is a little bit more artistic, but ultimately I think Oxymoron is better. And like Crash Talk was good for. It was good, but it wasn't anything super special. To be
It
honest,
had its heights, like a
yeah.
lot of really
Oh, there are
highs. When
songs
we
from that.
heard Num Num Juice, bro, that's
I'm still
all we
listening to
talked
Num Num
about.
Juice. I'm still listening.
Chopsticks, all we
Chopsticks
talked
sucks.
about. You
Chopsticks
don't like
sucks.
chopsticks?
Chopsticks
Are you
sucks.
serious?
Chopsticks is the best example of how when Travis Scott goes on someone's song, it just becomes a Travis Scott song.
Oh, I was actually gonna bring that up. Never mind.
Yeah. Like,
um,
and I think that's not a good thing.
Chopsticks is good. Floating's good.
No.
Dangerous is
And also
amazing.
I think that that hook is one of the worst hooks I've ever heard.
And chopsticks?
Yeah.
Ah, you've heard worse. You listen now.
Chopsticks. It's like but like, yeah, no, the song does have heights. Dangerous. I love the song Dangerous.
That had a music video to it.
Yeah.
A couple music videos in there.
Yeah. No, it's a good album. It's just not anything great. So
Pinnacle, Oxymoron.
happy to hear he has more coming out. So we had something
So yeah,
actually break while we're recording, and that is Lupe Fiasco got his first platinum record.
wow.
Yeah, Mr. Fiasco
I'm
himself.
I'm kind of surprised it took this long.
Yeah, and
Give
it's
him.
the cool.
It's a good selection.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's one of his
it's a
good
good
ones.
one to go platinum.
I think I'm a bit no, actually no, I like the cool more than Food and Liquor. Low key, sometimes I get the two albums confused. Like I love
I
both of
completely
them.
understand that.
I love both of them so much, but because I was going back to them, I get them confused sometimes.
No, I get that. I get them confused sometimes too.
Yeah.
I mean that's super dope.
Yeah,
I'm sad it took this long, but still, hey, it counts.
definitely. Definitely. All right.
Oh, that was 15 years ago, Brandon.
Yeah.
Jesus, why'd I look at the date?
Don't do that. Don't do that to us. Like
Jeez. Okay. But moving on. Last piece of news and just a little transition into our topic. Mr. JID JID is having a interview with Apple Music about the entire album of The Forever Story. Last week I've been hyping this up like crazy. I thought it was going to be in my top 5 and it did not disappoint. So far it is in my top 5 for the album easily. Um Man, he did it. I'm so happy. I'm so excited for him. There's a lot of message behind the album, and I thought, if anything, this might be considered one of the albums of the year. So why not do one of our first album reviews over it?
yeah. No, definitely agree.
Um, we've talked about Jid a ton on the podcast already, so I don't think he really needs another introduction.
Yeah.
But he signed to Dreamville. This
Yeah.
is
He's
third
very much
official album.
is it his first official album?
No. I don't think no. His third official album. I want to say. I know a lot of them were mixtapes,
Yeah.
but regardless, he dropped the album The Forever Story, a lead up or a follow up album, I should say, to the Never Story that he dropped a couple of years ago, which is also phenomenal. A lot of fans are waiting for this for a very long time.
Yeah.
We've been starving, as some might say, because it was about 4 years. It's been 4 years since he dropped DiCaprio 2, which is another great album. And you can really tell he spent damn near every day working on his flow, his artistry, creativity, his singing. This man is singing now, like well,
Yeah, very well.
like
Very well.
the features into it
He has great
and
features.
everything. The production is great. It's rare that you get albums like this where like you might cut one or two, maybe, but it's damn near flawless. I was so excited when I heard this album.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's a very high quality album, man.
so what were your because I can go on forever about Dreamville. What were your initial thoughts? What was your head at? What was going on?
So I guess well, I my head was kind of going into this pretty positively, mostly because I really like the song "Dance Now,"
Hmm.
which was one of the lead-in singles, and great story behind that. As we go into this review, we're doing reviews now. Fuck you, Anthony Fantano. Uh, But yeah, going into this review, "Dance Now" was one of my favorite songs of the year. So I was going in pretty hype. Like I think like this was the year that like the groundswell on JID hit me.
Okay.
Just because I loved his contributions on the Dreamville mixtape that came out this year. Loved his contributions when I listened to Revenge of the Dreamers 3 this year. Um,
Yeah.
he's
I
been
was gonna say,
dropping great features, great contributions to other songs that I really love, including one of my favorite songs of the year in Ain't No Way.
hmm
So yeah, no, I've been. This felt like the appropriate apex for this great year he was having,
hmm a
and
great way to pull it all together.
yeah, and I really just think like he fucking he stood up to the plate. He knocked it out of the fucking park. I don't know what else to say. Do I have like some like creative criticisms? Sure, but like, oh man, for someone this young who's still very eager, because like
Mhm.
to me, I feel like Jid is still like a relatively. I I, I think it's very fair to say he's a B tier artist.
hmm
Uh,
I think that's completely fair.
yeah, and but he's performing at a very high level creatively. So it's just interesting to see him at this point in his career.
hmm
And I went back. I listened to DiCaprio 2. I listened to the Never Story, which was the uh, not like a prequel. It's like the one before this.
hmm
And yeah, man, I think I was just blown away by just how consistently good every track was. Because like I think the thing that threw me off with Jid initially, and you're probably gonna hate me for saying this, is his voice.
Okay.
You know, I
Was it like whiny? Because remember, whenever I hear statements like that, and I know you just said it's going to piss me off, but it honestly didn't bother me that much. But I really pushed back because everyone hated Chance the Rapper because of his voice. And like, I just think that's a bad reason.
well, I wouldn't say. I don't know if whiny is the word I would use to describe it, but like it's not the typical intonation. I think that's fair.
Well,
And like I think you bring up the Chance the Rapper example, but like people got over that, and that's like what I did. Like
mhm.
I just kind of got over it as I've heard more and more of his music. So why don't we start like going through the album? Let's talk about some of our favorite tracks. What were your favorite tracks?
Ooh, um, honestly, Dance Now has been stuck in my head
It's been stuck in my head for
like
weeks.
crazy. Um, I was really, really impressed by Cody Blue 31. That's the one that
Okay,
like
good,
he's
good.
actually
That
singing on.
that I think
Um,
that's the best song on the album.
oh really?
I
Okay.
do, yeah. I think that song's fucking incredible.
Um, after that, Ari Lennox did a thing. She killed. Can't make you change.
Yep, definitely agree with that.
And it's got a nice little beat switch in it. It was nice. Just in Time might be one of the songs of the year for me. When you text me the other day, like give me a song of the year, I didn't want to say this because it's way too early and like it's only been out for a week. But Dance Now, sheesh,
Dance Now is up there. I ain't mad at
sheesh.
that. I ain't not mad at that
The
idea.
man went insane, and then Little Wayne comes on and goes insane. Like, sheesh. And then I think the most controversial one between us, I actually like Money. I
I
like the addition of the kids choir. I most importantly like the story behind the song because in the first, I want to say bridge, I think it's a bridge. In the first bridge before the chorus, he's saying like, "If a nigga try to give me a bologna sandwich, I'll smack him." And then the song continues on and continue when the story is about just like having money and like how it influences your childhood and a lot of things you do in the family. And one thing centered around is like having to eat a bologna sandwich because it's cheap. But you move up and you move out and you start to appreciate the things in life like family. It's where you come from, it's your origin. And then the second bridge flips it where he's like, "Man, if someone gave me a bologna sandwich, like that'll be love right now. Like that's exactly what I need." So that's why I like Money so much.
Okay, so I will say this: like the entire album, I listened to it initially, and I really liked it. Really did. Absolutely great. Uh, but it was on my second and third listen that I really, really started to get an appreciation for it.
Mhm.
And I'm willing to bet that money will. Because there's only like three songs on this album that I'm like, I think they stick out as being kind of just okay.
That was
And
actually what I was going to ask next.
yeah, and that's my thing with this album is that like I think it's 15 tracks. I think 12 of them are great or very good. And that just makes the other three that I think are just kind of fine or maybe a touch boring. It just makes them stand out.
hmm
That's just my feeling on it.
So I know that was one of them. What were the other two that kind of was like, eh?
On They're related tracks, but brother them and sister them.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting. Okay, so what I would say, I actually do agree with the brother them. If I had to pick one,
yeah,
I
and
think.
sister them. Like I think it's a better song than brother them, but it's
Mhm.
I think it's like it feels very very repetitive. It's a long 6 minutes.
Yes, that is a very good point that you brought up. It
Yeah,
took me to about the second or third listen for me to realize that this is all one song because
yeah,
he has a lot of transitions in the different songs here, and
yeah,
I kind of didn't realize that like the song was going on that
yeah,
long. Like it just didn't feel like it had a deep enough meaning,
yeah.
or maybe I'm missing it.
I think it has something to do with family. I think that's kind of the vibe that is supposed to be in those two songs. But I,
hmm
I think it just kind of falls a little flat. And just like if I'm being honest, if I'm being real.
No, yeah, I actually, if those were the other two, I completely understand. Which is actually funny if you
Yeah,
think about it,
really
because
every other song in this album I like a whole lot.
yeah,
I think tracks 1 through 7 is some of the strongest run of tracks released this year.
okay,
Can't
yeah,
Punk Me is another easily my third favorite song on the album.
okay.
Crack Sandwich, incredible. And I
All
like
of these are so good.
Yeah, and I like Stars a lot too for the production and the Yassam Bey feature.
Mhm.
I think
Very
JID
different feature.
is not his not in his best form on that song, but I think overall I still think the song's really good.
Mhm.
Like just that's it. Like it's just when you're a young guy and you're performing at such a high level so quickly, the stuff that does stick out, it just sticks out a little bit more. That's my opinion.
They
Uh,
just needs to clean up the little smaller areas, which if that is the case, that's good.
yeah,
That's a good
no,
thing.
definitely. So, what are your favorite features on this?
Um, my favorite features, if I had to like put them in order, I would probably say Little Wayne first. Because just the song in general is one of my favorite songs on the album, and I think nothing against Lil Wayne, but like not all of his features are that great, and I
No,
feel
as a matter of
like
fact,
this is one of
most of them
the
are bad,
yeah. So
especially
it's
nowadays.
nice that he put in the work to go into this one.
Yeah,
Ari Lennox, some of the best vocals on the album. It probably the best, if I'm just gonna say it.
no, the best on the album.
And I'm also just really excited for next week for her. So I'm all on that train. And then probably 21. 21 just had a really good verse in general.
Yeah, I totally agree. So another thing is surround sounds.
hmm
When that dropped as a single, I was kind of met on it.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of the baby tape feature.
At least
Uh,
it's
twenty,
small.
yeah, but within the context of the album, I think it hits way harder. Not the
Okay.
first time that's happened, won't be the last. Uh, yeah, no, just listening to it within the album has definitely changed my opinion on that song.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah,
I get
definitely.
that.
Um, Another thing, and this is just an observation, and it really is interesting because they're heaping a lot of praise and a few criticisms. But this is kind of something I'm going to label it as an observation because I can't honestly say that it did anything to inhibit my enjoyment of the album, but it also is something that when done right I really enjoy, and that's the beat switches on this album.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they're pretty frequent. But the thing is, like, to me, like, a good beat switch, like, completely re energizes a song, right?
Hmm.
I think about something like Holy Kalama Fuck or Sicko Mode or, God, name any of them.
I would say Nights.
Yeah. Yeah, Nights completely, I wouldn't say re energizes, but it completely shifts, you
It
know?
shifts the whole
Yeah,
song, right?
that the beat switch itself is like a moment, right?
Hmm.
I can't really recall any, but like a bad beat switch to me just feels like you're on a different song, but you're not.
Okay.
And these are neither. Like
It's somewhere
these
in the middle.
are like no, these are like I've never really felt this way about it before, where the beat switch is just something that happens, and like when you listen to the song, like everything makes sense. It doesn't really like feel disconnected or like incoherent, which is what like I think bad beat switches can do. But
Okay.
if I'm being honest with you, I don't think there's that holy shit beat switch moment anywhere on this album.
Yeah, honestly, and this is one of the first points I
Yeah.
think that we had discussed or one of the conversations we had when it first came out. I told you that my brother said the first half is harder to listen to because it's just too many beat switches.
Yeah.
It seems like the second half is actually
Mm,
complete,
I disagree with that.
but the reason I say that, I honestly think we get more used to it.
Yeah.
I feel like when you first play the album and these beat switches are coming in, like you said, it doesn't really shift the song.
Yeah.
It's just kind of there.
Yeah, it's just
And
kind of
so
there.
the
It's just
yeah.
it's kind of hard to describe because like I can't honestly say that this album has bad production. This album has great production,
Mhm.
and I would not agree with the idea that the beat switches in the first half make it harder to listen to. I don't think that's the case at all. It just
Mhm.
I don't think they add anything either.
Right.
They
There's
just
no
feel
point where it's
like
like,
part of
oh,
this. Yeah, there's no drama to them per se.
mhm,
You see what I mean?
yes, I
And it's
do.
just interesting. It's just interesting to me to see that that like trick used so oddly.
I mean, when you even saying that, I was trying to think, have you ever witnessed something
No,
in a
no,
sense where
it
like
really is like
it's
kind
either
of
a bad switch or like it
yeah,
happens and I like we give each other that look like, oh my god.
yeah, yeah. Like
um but after listening to it, like I said, it kind of maybe it seemed more fluid on the second half just because we maybe got used to it over time. But with that being said, by my third or fourth listen, it doesn't really even feel like a beat switch. If I'm being honest,
you
like it's
know,
just part of the song now.
I so I only listened to the album 3 times, which I feel like is adequate to review it.
Mhm.
Uh,
Especially within a week.
um, and yeah, maybe that I'll go through a similar phenomenon. Where I stop feeling like, oh, this is a lesser beat switch, and more is like this is just part of the beat. I could definitely see myself making that evolution. I'm not there yet.
Right.
All right, so why don't we talk like the where we think JID is right now in his career, and wrap this up with like the grade, and we can reveal our reviewing thing.
For sure. Where is he in his career? It's tough because, like we said last week when we were discussing a little bit in this week, Jid is kind of in a place where, like, you compare him to that Denzel Curry. I feel
I
like he
really
is
do.
B
Yeah.
tier. I feel like he's on the brink of making it, but something just has to click. And it's difficult to like point out, you just need to do this, you just need to do that. Because we joke about like, oh, you just need to drop a concept album, which he literally just did. It's
Do you
almost
see
like
this as a concept album?
personally, I do see this as more. Yes, I would say a concept album, specifically more than the other ones that he was working with. I feel like it's a concept album because it's a larger story that he's continuing from his previous one. There's a story trail that follows between the two. The entire album is more focused on family and what family means to each other. And I feel like as you grow within the industry, a lot of the artists experience something where they disconnect from like their origins, and like in a sense where we don't really understand how much time they might spend away from what they're used to going through their lives, because this is what they're like literally singing about in the songs. They're opening a world to their life. And so I feel like this does a really good job at pulling in that deep rooted from the mud, but family we stick together kind of theme.
Yeah.
And in multiple songs here, the two songs "Sisterdom" and "Brotherdom" is literally about like what's it like to have those type of relationships. We have their
Yeah.
back. There's multiple skits built into the album in a sense where like Kendrick had those voicemails.
Yeah.
He also has these versions of voicemails where it's just you sitting around the table, maybe playing spades or something, your family's talking, and like the girl's telling a story about, "Oh, remember when we was at the mall and we just started beating on this chick?" Like that is implemented throughout the album where you feel like you're in the family. So personally, I call this a concept
Okay. Yeah, you made a really, really good argument for that.
album. But in terms of what does he need to do now, because there's normally our solution, is it like it does he need to have a hit song, a radio song? Like I'm just kind of confused. I feel like he's at the like ceiling almost. He's about to go past the sky
He
and
has to
like
break
reach
into the
the stars.
mainstream.
But
Yeah,
like,
I think
how's
he
he gonna do this?
yeah, I think he really is like I think he's hitting on like like the glass dome of the subculture, right?
Hmm.
Cuz and I think like him and Denzel are right there too, right? Where they are right at that precipice of being fully accepted by the mainstream.
Almost feel like it happens at random. Like every time I
Yeah,
think about things like this, I feel like other artists that just they blew up on the scene and it's just something just took off. So they just clicked.
they got a hit song, and really, like, if he wants to, if I feel like on one hand, like I feel like as long as he keeps making music that's this good, I feel like he'll always have a career. He'll always have enough people who want to come see him live. He'll always get enough streams. He did a great job on the Billboard charts, going against a fucking titan.
Right.
You know, I think like
So
if he performs at this level, like there is no more has to be better, right? He's made it. I think if he wants to be like a J. Cole, a Drake, in terms of like cultural saturation, I think he needs that hit song
mhm,
that everyone hears, right? And I think the same is true for Denzel, and I think they're both just at that point.
something's gonna click eventually.
Has to.
Now, you kind of had mentioned this when you were talking, and this is why I threw this in the news, and we had kind of brought it up earlier when we was texting. What would JID's tour be like for this concert or
Yeah.
for this album?
No, I think yeah,
Because
like
I could
where is
see
he?
a 500 ticket, maybe $40 ticket concert that we would go to.
Yeah.
But is that good or is that bad?
Well, I don't think I think JID is in a point where as long as he sells out shows, it doesn't matter how big they are.
Okay.
I
Why do you
think
think that?
just because like that's the thing that gets you cred. Like that's the thing that increases your uh
I was gonna say, now that you
yeah.
say that, Yeet literally was known to do that. There's like a story about Yeet purposefully going to a small venue so that it was like a riot outside,
Yeah.
and it was a marketing term. So now
Yeah.
that you say that, that makes total sense.
And like once again, like I don't know if you've ever gone to a bunch of concerts in a church basement. I have. Uh, so
Don't have
like,
too many experiences.
yeah, it's hard to call something like Radius, small. I would call that mid, and I would call things like Soldier Field, like that's an arena. Like
But that's
that's as
massive.
that's
The
as
weekend.
the only thing bigger than that is like an outdoor festival, right? So I think like yeah, like I would love to see him at a show like Radius. Someplace that isn't people sitting in seats looking down at him, but like a place where you can feel the energy of his music. Especially after seeing his little bit that he was on stage at Lala, where like he was very animated and like it seems like
Yes.
he's someone who like is feeling the energy of the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I think he should be. You know? But I think he's in an interesting spot because I think he could do that pretty easily. But like for example, like do you think he could have replaced Don Tolliver at Friday at Lollapalooza? I don't know. I don't know if he's quite there. I think he is way better creatively than Don Tolliver, and I like the guy.
About to say no question.
Yeah, no question that he's performing at a higher level as an artist. Could he have replaced Denzel? I don't know.
I
I
was
think
literally about to
yeah,
literally
and
about to say that.
yeah, like I to be honest, I don't think so because like I think another thing, and as we talk about this stuff now, like semi professionally, like it's it's become very clear that like artists as far as like putting out music and like touring, those are two different things.
Okay.
And I just don't know where JID is at touring wise. And I want to see him win, but I just don't know exactly where he fits in. And I think it's at that mid level. I don't think he's a small act, but I don't think he's going to be selling out Soldier Field anytime soon.
Right. No, there's no way.
Yeah. The
Even
Oregon
United Theater, I
Ballroom.
would
That'd be
consider
great.
about it.
Like,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say
Low
either
key,
that,
like, I know they're
bigger than the
complete.
House of Blues.
Yeah. Low key, like, I know that they're completely different types of artists, but, like, I think he would pull a crowd similar in size to Brockhampton.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Again, we're gonna be there, so
Yeah.
we'll let you
But,
know.
so what are you going to give the album overall?
Oh yeah, we need to discuss like
Yeah.
how we're
So
gonna
we're
be
doing
quote
reviews
unquote
now. We're
ranking.
giving grades. We
Yeah,
want. I have a religious opposition to giving numbers to things. I don't like
correct.
boiling art down to that.
Yes,
But like, it's kind of hard to have like an effective review show without something to say at the end, you know. So as long as we're doing the half hour of review before it, we decided on a grade because I think that gives enough nuance.
right. Yeah, I think I don't even know how I came up with the idea to tell you, but like I just feel like it clicked where it's better to literally give it like an A, B, C, etc. because it's something that everyone can relate to, and it's
Yeah,
like almost like a range
yeah.
where it's like okay,
I
it's
like
around this field.
I like the nuance of it. You
Mm,
know the difference between a B plus and an A minus.
exactly. Um, if I was to grade it, honestly, I would give it like either an A or A minus, and I know I'm biased because I like him a lot. I don't see many flaws in this album. Anything that I was concerned about on the initial like listen to it either get looked over or eased over, and I appreciate or learn to appreciate it. I don't think it's like an A plus. It's not like a flawless classic out the door.
Yeah.
Um, but I think in terms of his career, this would be a huge highlight and a classic for him, considering on like where he goes next. So considering this is some of his best work ever, and he did not disappoint, and I honestly will put this as my top two or three. I have to give it at least an A or A.
All right. I'm not too far off. Uh, me, I'm leaning towards like a B plus rate.
Okay.
Just because I think there's a few songs I think kill the vibe a little bit. I think And the other thing is, I think he has. I don't think he has hit his creative ceiling by any means.
Hmm.
And I know that the argument against that kind of pullback, I totally see it because you should just judge this based on what it is.
Hmm.
But I can't shake the fact that like this kid is just going to get better and better and better. And I want to give him credit for just absolutely knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
But like, also like, if I'm being honest, I don't know if it's in my top 5 of the year. I don't know if it's in. It's probably in my top 10, probably.
I was going to say we've been discussing this a lot now
Yeah,
because we're getting closer to the end.
yeah,
We're coming. Literally tomorrow is the last third or the last fourth.
yep. Last quarter.
Um, and we still have promising things that are teasing, like Travis, like
Oh
Chance,
boy.
Reno, whoever. Um, sorry, but anyway, I the reason it naturally, obviously, now that we've given it a grade in terms of letters, like you said, everyone knows the difference between an A minus and a B plus. They're right next to each other, but there is a difference. The only reason I would give him that A minus pushover is because of the rollout as well. We've
The
talked a lot
rollout
about,
is really, really good.
bro, insane,
And
especially for someone
crediting
at his
all the
level.
producers like that. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
I'm
that's pretty
loving it
convincing.
more and
That's
more.
pretty convincing. But I think I'm gonna
The,
stick with the B plus.
oh man, he put 3 cars in cities, played the album beforehand. He's got an interview discussing him buying his family home. I love him. I got to get an A minus.
Yeah, I don't.
But
You
we're
can
close.
give it whatever you want. I just think like,
I'm about to say we're very close.
yeah, but I definitely look. I like it a lot. It's an incredible album. On the JID train officially, choo choo. But I think I'm going B plus on this.
For sure. Did we get the Fantano? Because he had like
Not yet.
kind of teased a little
Yeah,
something.
he
Okay.
teased it, but we got to it first. Fucking
What
bald
do you,
Tony.
what do you, what do you think he's gonna give him?
I don't know.
Honestly, what do you
He
think?
so the thing he teased was he just posted an empty room and he's like, look at this room full of bad songs from the JID album and it was empty. And yeah, I think it's probably going to be like an 8 or something, but I don't
I was
know.
literally about to say I think he's gonna say strong 8.
Yeah,
But anyway, I
yeah.
guess that wraps it up.
All right. Do we want to do our recce's?
Yes, sir. Do you have yours up? Are
I
you
do.
ready?
Do you want me to go first?
Go for it.
All right. So I want to actually start this off with a question.
Okay.
In your lifetime, what single do you think dominated the airwaves more than anything else?
In my lifetime,
Like, what's
I'm
like the
assuming
time
hip
when
hop, right?
like, sure,
Okay.
where like everyone just stopped and like gawked at how good it was?
Oh, like how good it
Yeah,
was? A radio song?
anything. Yeah.
That makes it tougher because the original thought I was going to say "Hold On, We're Going Home" by Drake was
Oh yeah.
all over the radio for freaking forever.
Yeah.
God's Plan was freaking forever. Now in terms of because of its amazing,
Yeah.
kite translates, but what is it? What do you have here?
Mine. I'm recommending "This Is America" by Childish Gambino.
Ooh, good option. That is a
Yeah.
good one,
I think it's fair to
especially
say
for
that
us.
like everyone was talking about this when it happened. This
If not
dominated.
the song, the music video.
Yeah, that certainly helps too.
Mhm.
But this song, it was easily my most listened to song of the year. It came out 2018. Nothing else said. Great song.
Good choice. I support this. My first song is going to be by an artist called Comethazine. He is relatively one of the newer young artists that's been coming up with this new wave. He has a song called Stand. He has multiple albums out. It's actually pretty successful for like where he is. He has a song called Stand. There's no beat, there's no piano, nothing. Guitar. It's literally him rapping in his own beat with like an auto tune and it is so hard. It's so hard.
I
So
gotta
I
listen to
highly
this. Send it to
recommend
me.
that. I got you. All right, what's your second one?
All right, my second one. Just because like we're towards the end of summer, this is another song. Actually came out the same year as This Is America. Now that I realize it, I don't care. I'm gonna recommend "Patience" by Tame Impala.
Oh, I know this song. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, got
So
that
yeah,
locked
it's
in.
like it's very vibey, very psychedelic, but it's also very disco. It's very good.
Okay, but I'm in.
Very good.
My second one is going to be by Maxio Cream. We've actually been talking about him a
Ooh.
lot recently with like those East rappers, and I fits in that dirty rap that you've been calling it. He has a song featuring Don Toliver called "Believe." This is one of those rare songs, as we've discussed how Don Toliver is kind of like the apprentice to Travis Scott. This might be one of those situations where he's picked up the skill from Travis Scott, where if he's on the song, it sounds like a Don Toliver song. Um, it's called "Believe." It's on Max Rakim's newest album, I want to say. Um, it sounds like a Don Toliver song, and it's one of his best choruses I think he has. But it has Maxo Cream on it, like rapping, really good verses. So highly recommend.
That's interesting. I'll have to listen to that. All right. So my last one, going with a fun one. I'm going with what I think is in all of music, not just hip hop. This isn't hip hop, but it's very, very close. Um, I am recommending the DD by The Weeknd, the cover of Dirty Diana.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice,
low
nice.
key. Like as I've said before, I have a background mostly in like rock music, and the discussion of like what is the greatest cover of all time is uh is pretty common,
Mm.
and this has to be my pick for the greatest cover, like one of the greatest covers of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic cover of a very challenging song.
Trying to see because I know I've listened to it kind of more recently, but I can't remember what is the code. Hold on. Anyway, I'll just move on. Sorry, I got way off topic. Um, but I'll just wrap it up with my last song. Um, it is a song. I don't know how to pronounce it fully. I think it's Nymphobia. It is the Fear of Memories. It's a song by Brain Story. It is a random song that came up on shuffle, and it was like really upbeat and up tempo, really catchy. So that would be my last one that I recommend.
Wow. All right, that's the show this week. God damn it, we finally did a short one.
Is it actually short?
I mean, 15 minutes.
Okay,
We're doing it.
it's not bad.
We're doing it.
We're sending it.
We're trying not to be 3 hours long every time. Like,
Hey, cut.
all right, that's the show. Bye. Like and subscribe.